Hello everyone, welcome to the Planeswalker Pantheon. This is Elspeth, and today we are going to be opening up a whole booster box of Commander Legends. Yes, the draftable Commander set is here. In this box we have 24 packs of 20 cards, which allows us to actually be able to draft a semi-commander deck. So instead of normal draft, we're playing with a 40 card deck. That is also including your commanders or your partner commanders if you so choose to wish. I've drafted this set twice and it is some great fun. Yes, I actually got to draft this set. Where I am now, my local game store is allowing people back in again, and it feels great just to be back in a store and, playing Magic just with people. It's one of those things that you never really realize how much you miss it until it's not there for you anymore. So what we've got here is a little cheat sheet guide on how to build the deck and how to play. And also all the cool archetypes you can play. So we've got blue-white flyers, we've got white-black creature tokens, blue-black graveyard, blue-red pirates, red-black sacrifice, black-green elves, red-green large creatures, green-white +1/+1 counters, blue-green extra mana, and red-white auras and equipment. That's just a quick rundown of what you can expect if you ever draft this. But anyways, let's get to the thing that people want to see the most, and that is cracking these packs. Alright, so let's see here. I thought that would have been a little tear thing, but there we go. We'll do it like this. Alright, so pull them out. So there's a lot of really cool reprints in the set, and as well as some new cards. One of the new mechanics in the set is called Encore. So if this card's in the graveyard, you exile it, you create one copy of this card, of the card for each opponent, and you sacrifice the beginning of the next end step. Monarch's back as well, which is great. I always love a little bit of Monarch. And fall from favor. People have been worried about this in Pauper because it is kind of insane. That Elvish Visionary is back. Alright, first uncommon is Volcanic Dragon. Second uncommon, Siren Storm Tamer. Third uncommon is Feast of Succession. My gosh, Seb McKinnon, you are killing it with this artwork. Our first rare is Sakashima's Protege. So for 4 and 2 blue, you get a creature shapeshifter. It's a 3/1 with Flash and Cascade. Cascade's also back for this set. You may have Sakashima's Protege enter the battlefield as a copy of any permanent that entered the battlefield this turn. And you get 2 legendaries. So our first one is Radiant Serra Archangel. Our second one is Captain Vargas Wraith. And we get our foil Eyeblight Assassin. Actually, I probably should read these two. So Captain Vargas Wraith, or CVW as I like to call him. He is a blue and a red for a 1/1 legendary creature Orc Pirate. When it attacks, pirates you control get +1/+1 until end of turn for each time you've cast a commander from the command zone. And Radiant Serra Archangel is 6 and a white for a legendary creature Angel. It's a 6/4 with flying. Can tap another untapped creature you control with flying, and Serra Radiant Archangel gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. And it has Partner. So Partner's another thing that's back. For a lot of the uncommon legendaries in particular, they brought back the original OG Partner mechanic, which basically says as long as they both have the keyword of Partner, they can both be your commander. Some new pirates as well. Ambush Viper's back. We've got the Marble Diamonds as well, which is going to be a nice little boon for Pauper as well. We've got more Monarch stuff, which again, for Pauper is great. First uncommon is Lightning Rig Crew. Second uncommon is Supreme Will. Our third uncommon is Kumbaj Witches. It's the first time we've seen a paper printing of it since its original printing, and it's got that sweet, sweet Seth McKinnon artwork. And we've got our first mythic. We've got Sphinx of the Second Sun. So for 6 and 2 blue, you get a creature Sphinx. It's a 6/6 with flying. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, you get an additional beginning phase. So that means you get to, after your first combat main phase, you get to untap, upkeep, and draw yet again. And our legendaries for this pack are Breaches, the Brazen Plunderer. So for 3 and a red, you get a legendary creature Goblin Pirate. It's a 3/3 with Menace. Whenever one or more pirates you control deal damage to your opponents, exile the top card of each of those opponents' libraries. You may play those cards this turn. You may spend mana as a mana of any color to cast them. And it has partner. And we got Rebecca, which is actually pretty close to my actual name. Architect of Ascension. So for 3 and a white, you get a legendary creature, 3/4, with Human Artificer. Artifacts you control have protection from each converted mana cost among artifacts you control. And also has partner. Ooh, and we've got a foil Oz of Advocates. This might be worth a little bit because this is the first foil printing that we've seen of that, because it was originally in one of the commander sets. With a really neat Salamander Warrior. Alright, next up. Try to do something a little bit special there. This is what I get for trying to do something special with a mic in front of me. Go through our commons. Fire Diamond. Rupture Spire. First uncommon, which is actually a downgrade from rare, it's Burning Anger. We have a Scholar of the Ages. Guildleaf Winner, which is another downshift from rare to uncommon for this set. And our rare is a pretty good one. It's Rings of Brighthearth. So for 3 mana, you get an artifact. Whenever you activate an ability that isn't a mana ability, you may pay 2. If you do copy that ability, you may choose new targets for the copy. That's a nice little pickup there. And we've got Elena Kessig Trapper. So for 4 and a red, you get a legendary creature, Human Scared. So 4/3 first strike. You can tap to add an amount of red mana equal to the greatest power among creatures you control that enter the battlefield this turn. And we've got Slurk, Slurk All Ingesting, which is the legendary Ooze. So Slurk All Ingesting enters the battlefield with 5+1/+1 counters on it. Whenever Slurk or another creature you control dies, if it had a +1/+1 counter on it, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control that had a +1/+1 counter on it. And we've got a Defiant Salvager as our foil. Foils go here. Alright, next pack. These packs are actually kind of hard to open. Alright. Have you guys had the chance to maybe draft the set? I know it's a little bit hard right now with everything going on, but if you do get the chance, please, if you can, buy a box. Play with friends, it's great. And they've also done a lot of the great commander lands as well in the set. Our first uncommon is Vow of Duty. We've got a Hero's Blade, Stinger Fling Spider, and our rare is Neverill's Disc. So for 4 mana, get an artifact, Neverill's Disc enters the battlefield tapped. You can pay 1 and tap to destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. And we've actually got one of the rare commanders. We've got Belby Corrupted Observer. So for black and a green, you get a legendary creature, Zombie Elf. It's a 2/2. The beginning of each player's post-combat main phase, that player adds 2 colors for each of your opponents who lost life this turn. Ooh, we actually got a double rare pack in this one. So we've also got Amareth the Lustrous. So for 3, a green, a white, and a blue, you get a legendary creature, Dragon. It's a 6/6 with flying. Whenever another opponent enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it shares a card type with that permanent, you may reveal that card and put it into your hand. Actually, make that a triple rare pack. We got Lycia, Shroud of Dust. So for 2 white and black, you get a legendary creature, Angel. It's a 5/5. Rather than pay 2 for each previous time you cast this spell from the command zone in this game, you pay 2 life that many times. Has flying and lifelink, and whenever a player casts a spell, they lose 2 life. Wow, that was quite a pack, actually, to be honest. Yeah, so we've got 3 different rares in that whole pack. And what's also pretty cool about this set is some of these legendaries are reimaginings of old creatures that we may have seen or heard of back in Magic's, long history. Some of them, like Lycia, we've heard about her, but she never had a card. Belby, again, was another creature that we've seen in Magic's past and just never saw a card for it. And it's just really neat that you can sort of get these cool reimaginings. I myself have been working on a commander deck, or at least trying to, so I can just play Commander more, because I've sort of gotten drawn into Commander. So we've got Oz of Advocates, Sunset Pyramid, Confiscate is great, And our rare is Sakashima's Will. So for 3 and a blue, you get a sorcery. You choose one. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, you may choose both. Target opponent chooses a creature they control. You gain control of it. And you choose a creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of that creature until end of turn. And we've got Hazma, Guardian of Irration. So for 4, a green and a white, you get a legendary creature, Elephant Warrior. It's a 5/5. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. And we've got Kedis, Amber Claw Familiar. So for 1 and a red, you get a legendary creature, Elemental Lizard. It's a 1/1. Whenever a commander you control deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent. And a neat little foil Gift of Paradise there. Keep doing this. There we go. Next up. Alright, let's go through these commons here. And also, when you draft this set, if you ever get the chance, you actually make 2 picks every single pick, which is insane. So our first uncommon is a Kangi's Lieutenant. Grafted War Gear is back, which is really neat to see. Patron of the Valiant. And our first rare is the Court of Ire. So this is actually a part of a cycle of courts. So for the Court of Ire, you pay 3 and 2 red for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Court of Ire deals 2 damage to any target, if you're the monarch, it deals 7 damage to that player or permanent instead. We have Keyleth Sunmane Familiar here. So for 1 and a white, you get a legendary creature horse. It's a 1/1. Whenever a commander you control attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And we've also got Rayav Mastersmith. So for a red and a white, you get a legendary creature, Dwarf Artificer. It's a 2/2. Whenever a creature you control that's enchanted or equipped attacks, that creature gains double strike until end of turn. We've also got the Vows back as well. I've got a token there. That's a foil. Alright, so next up. Armory was downshifted, I believe, to common for the set. I believe it was a normal, an uncommon in original Theros. Our first uncommon is Ingenuity Engine. Second uncommon is Explosion of Riches. Third uncommon is a Dreamstone Hedron. And we've got actually a mythic. We've got Reshape the Earth. So for 6 and triple green, you get a sorcery. Search your library for up to 10 land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library. If you're playing, say, like a Maze's End deck, this is a way to get your win con online. We have a Ghost of Ramirez de Pietro. So for 2 and a blue, you get a legendary creature, Spirit Pirate. It's a 2/3. Ghost of Ramirez de Pietro can't be blocked by creatures with toughness 3 or greater. When Ghost of Ramirez de Pietro deals combat damage to a player, choose up to 1 target card in the graveyard that was discarded or put there from a library this turn. Put that card into its owner's hand. Oh, and we've got another mythic. This is a Chroma Vision of Ixidor. So we've got a new version of a Chroma, a new mono white one. So for 5 and 2 white, you get a legendary creature Angel. It's a 6/6. It has flying, first strike, vigilance, and trample. At the beginning of each combat until end of turn, each other creature you control gets +1/+1 if it has flying, +1/+1 if it has first strike, and so on for double strike, death touch, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, protection, reach, trample, vigilance, and partner. And it also has partner itself. Whew, that was a bit of a mouthful. And we got a Sky Diamond in foil, which is neat, and a copy token. Whew, so we got a triple rare pack, a double mythic pack. That's pretty solid. And we're not even halfway through the box. Filigree Familiar, downshift to common, I believe. Unless it was printed in common somewhere else and I missed it. Got a Vow of Wildness. Coastline Marauders. Shifter Worm. And we've got the Black Court, which is the Court of Ambition. So for 2 and 2 black, when it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 3 life unless they discard a card. If you're the monarch instead, each opponent loses 6 life unless they discard 2 cards. And we've got a Galania, Caller of Wildwood. So for 2 and a green, you get a legendary creature, Elf Druid. It's a 1/2. You can tap to add green. When you spend this mana to cast a spell with converted mana cost 6 or greater, you draw a card. And, we got the Turtle Boy. So we've got Archelios, Lagoon Mystic. So for 1, a black, a green, and a blue is a legendary creature, Turtle Shaman. It's a 2/4. As long as Archelios, Lagoon Mystic is tapped, other permanents enter the battlefield tapped. As long as it's untapped, other permanents enter the battlefield untapped. So who likes to play with Static Orb as their commander? And we got a Perilous Mirror. And also, this is also great to help out the draft format, the Prismatic Piper. If it's your commander, you choose a colour before the game begins. The Prismatic Piper is the chosen colour. It's a way to give everyone a fair shot with having at least all the colours that they need for the draft. It doesn't have any initial ability, so it shouldn't affect the draft too much. It's a 5-mana 3/3. It just facilitates the draft format, basically. Again, with amazing Seb McKinnon artwork. I need to support this Kickstarter. Alright, so next up. But honestly, this format is fun, and it was one of those good formats to come back to with people to draft again. Got a Golem Artisan, Fathom Fleet Swordjack, 3 visits. This is a really notable uncommon reprint. This was actually pretty expensive before this card was reprinted. And we've got a rare, we've got a Biowaste Blob. So for 2 and 2 green creature oozes you control get +1/+1. It's a 0/0. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a commander, create a token that's a copy of Biowaste Blob. We have Elsior Wardwing Familiar. So it's a 1 and a blue for a 1/3 legendary creature bird. It has flying. Spells your opponents cast that target 1 or more commanders you control cost 3 more to cast. And we got Crack the Thumbless. So for 1 and a red, you get a legendary creature, Goblin Wizard. It's a 2/2. It's Kark. You know him from Kark's Thumb and Kark's other thumb. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, return that spell to its owner's hand. If you win the flip, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. And we have a foil Maelstrom Colossus. Woo! Alright, so let's see what we've got here. First uncommon is Vow of Flight. Second uncommon is a Revenant with the saddest looking artwork ever. Like, this poor bunny rabbit's just going to be eaten up by a spirit. We've got a Brass Herald. And our rare is another mythic. It's Phyrexian Triniform. So for 9 mana, you get an artifact creature golem. It's a 9/9. When it dies, you create 3 colors golem artifact creature tokens, and you can encore it off for 12, which is kind of crazy. So we've got a Numa Juroga Chieftain. So for 2 and a green, you get a 2/2 legendary creature Elf Warrior. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay XX. When you do, you distribute X +1/+1 counters among any number of target elves, and it also has partner. Also, we've got Mirror Thorn of the Glade. So for 1 and a black, you get a legendary creature Elf Scout. It's a 1/2. Whenever Mirror Thorn of the Glade or another elf you control dies, you may pay 1 and pay 1 life. If you do, you draw a card. Ooh, Foil Commander Sphere. That's going to be worth a little bit. I know people would want that, because this has never been printed in a foil form before. And we've got another Piper and another copy token. Alright, let's go. This is great. Alright, first uncommon is a Horizon Scholar. Second uncommon is a Shimmermere, which I believe was downshifted to an uncommon from rare. Our third uncommon is a Noxious Dragon. And our rare is a Coercive Recruiter. So for 4 and a red, you get a 4/3 creature Orc Pirate. When Coercive Recruiter or another pirate enters the battlefield under your control, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. Until end of turn, it gains haste and becomes a pirate, in addition to its other types. We also have Dargo the Shipwrecker. So for 6 and a red, you get a legendary creature of giant pirate. It's a 7/5. As additional cost to cast a spell, you may sacrifice any number of target artifacts and or creatures. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each permanent sacrifice this way, and 2 less to cast for each other artifact or creature you've sacrificed this turn. We've got Siani, Eye of the Storm. So for 3 and a blue, you get a legendary creature, Djinn Monk. It's a 3/2 with flying. Whenever Siani, Eye of the Storm attacks, you scry X, where X is the number of attacking creatures with flying, and it has partner. Also, Dargo has partner as well. Ooh, we've got another foil right here. It's a Plague Reaver. So for 2 and a black, you get a creature beast. It's a 6/5. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice each other creature you control. Discard 2 cards, sacrifice Plague Reaver, choose target opponent, return Plague Reaver to the battlefield under that player's control at the beginning of the next upkeep. Well, that's pretty neat. That's a 3rd copy token already, my friend. Alright, next up. Alright, let's see what we've got here. Elvish Doomsday, which is a little bit of a play on the Elvish Visionary. First in common is Daring Saboteur. This is another rare that was downshifted to uncommon for this set. Demonic Law, Monstrous Onslaught, and our rare is Immaculate Magistrate. So for 3 and a green, you get a creature, Elf Shaman. You can tap it. It's a 2/2. You can tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature for each elf you control. We've also got Alhalaru, Solemn Ritualist. So for 4 and a white, you get a legendary creature, Human Monk. It's a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 target counter on each up to 2 other target creatures. Whenever a non-token creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it dies, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying, and it has partner. We've also got Keswick, the Flesh Sculptor. So for 2 and a black, you get a legendary creature, Human Artificer. It's a 1/3. You can tap and sacrifice 3 other artifacts and or creatures. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand and the other 2 into your graveyard, and also has partner. We also have a foil Brass Herald. And another copy token. Geez, this box loves its copy tokens right now. Alright. First uncommon is Faith Sweaters with an older artwork. I don't know if this is the oldest art, but I definitely remember this is the older artwork. Pen and Blade, Sword of the Strong, which is another rare downshifted to uncommon. And we got the Blue Court. So for 1 and 2 blue, get an enchantment. When Court of Cunning enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, any number of target players each mill 2 cards. If you're the Monarch, each of those players mill 10 cards instead. We also have Glacian, the Power Stone Engineer. So for 5 and a blue, you get a legendary creature, Human Artificer. It's a 3/6. You can tap and tap X untapped artifacts you control. Look at the top X cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. And we have a Rumi of the Dead Tide. So for 1, a blue and a black, you get a legendary creature, Merfolk Wizard. It's a 1/4. You exile cards from your graveyard equal to the number of opponents you have. Target creature in your graveyard gains Encore until end of turn. The Encore cost is equal to its mana cost. We've got a foil Ripscale Predator and a Zombie. Whew. Alright, next up. More Sky Diamonds. More Diamonds is great. Findhorn Elves is great to see again. Got our first uncommon, which is Make a Stand. Second uncommon is a Burnished Heart. Third uncommon is a Guildless Commons, which is basically the colourless bounce land. And our rare is a Chroma's Will. So for 3 and a white, you get an instant. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, you may choose both. Creatures you control gain Flying, Vigilance, and Double Strike until end of turn. Or creatures you control gain Lifelink, Indestructible, and Protection from all colours until end of turn. We have the Abomination of Llanowar. So for 1, a black and a green, you get a legendary creature, Elf Horror. It's a Starstar with Vigilance and Menace. Abomination of Llannowar's power and toughness are each equal to the number of elves you control plus the number of elf cards in your graveyard. And we also have Prava of the Steel Legion. So for 2 and a white, you get a legendary creature, Cat Soldier. As long as it's your turn, creature tokens you control get +1/+4. You can pay 3 and a white to create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, and it has partner. And it's a 1 for itself. Ooh! So these are the etched foils. I kind of want to try and get this on camera as much as possible because these, and we got a golden token, because these look really pretty. This is the first one I've actually seen in person. So we've got a etched foil of Hazma, Guardian of Irration. That looks really nice. I hope that camera is picking it up, because this looks real nice. I'll put you right here. Alright, next up. Alright, first uncommon is Return to Dust. Second uncommon is Vow of Torment. Third uncommon is Volcanic Torrent. And our rare is we've got a command beacon, so if you're familiar with Commander at all, you know what this card does. It's a land, you can tap it to add colours, or you can tap sacrifice the command beacon, put a commander into your hand from the command zone. We've got a Jury Master of the Review. It's a black and a red for a legendary creature, Human Shaman. It's a 1/1. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on Jury Master of the Review. When Jury dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. And we've got actual Tormod, as in of Tormod's Crypt. It's Tormod the Desecrator, so for 3 and a black, you get a legendary creature, Zombie Wizard. It's a 4/2. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token, and it has partner. We've got a neat foil Iona's Judgment there. And we've got the Elf Warrior. Alright. Next up. Alright, let's keep going, shall we? Got a Vow of Lightning, Scaled Behemoth, Lord Seeker Stone, and our rare is an Armored Sky Hunter. So for 3 and a white, you get a creature Cat Knight. It's a 3/3 flying. Whenever Armored Sky Hunter attacks with the top 6 cards of your library, you may put an aura or equipment card from among them onto the battlefield. If an equipment is put onto the battlefield this way, you may attach it to a creature you control. Put the rest of those cards on the bottom of your library in a random order. And we've got Rograk, Son of Roga. It's another creature that we had from original lore. It's a 0-mana legendary creature, Kobold Warrior. It's an 0/1. It is red. Ignore what that mana cost says. It has First Strike, Menace, Trample, and Partner. And we've also got Blim, Comedic Genius. So for 2, a black and a red, you get a legendary creature Imp. It's a 4/3 flying. When it deals combat damage to a player, that player gains control of target permanent you control. Then each player loses life and discards cards to the number of permanents they control, but they don't own. And we've got a full Silverback Shaman and another Prismatic Piper and new Monarch token without the silly spelling error that was in the original ones in Conspiracy, which is nice to see. Our first uncommon is Humble Defector. Whoops. Second uncommon is a Sandstone Oracle. Third uncommon is Guildleaf Winnower. And our rare is Magus of the Order. So it's another one in that good old circle of Maguses. So for 2 and 2 green, you get a creature, Human Wisdom's a 3/3. You can pay a green, tap, and sacrifice Magus of the Order and another green creature. Search your library for a green creature card and put it onto the battlefield, and then shuffle your library. We have Amarix, Filigree Thrasher. So for 2 and a black, you get a legendary artifact creature Golem. It's a 3/2. When it attacks, you may discard a card. If you do, target creature defending player controls gets -X until end of turn, where X is the number of artifacts you control plus the number of artifact cards in your graveyard, and it has partner. Hey, we got Sengia the Dark Baron. It's a 4 and 2 black legendary creature Vampire Noble. It's a 4/4 with flying. Whenever another creature dies, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Sengia the Dark Baron. Whenever another player loses the game, you gain life equal to that player's life total as the turn began. Nice improvement on the original Sengia. And we've got a 4 Court Street Denizen and an Angel. Preordain's back as well. Got old Ambush Viper. Thorn of the Black Rose is great. Great in Pauper. Got a Command Tower as well. Alright, first uncommon is a Furnace Celebration. Second uncommon is a Reclamation Sage. Third uncommon is a Meteor Golem. And our rare is a Blade Griff Prototype. So for 5 mana, you get an artifact creature Griffin. It's a 3/2 flying. Whenever Blade Griff Prototype deals combat damage to a player, destroy target non-land permanent of that player's choice that one of your opponents controls. Interesting. So we have Kangi the Skywands. This is another reimagining of an old legendary. So for 3, a white and a blue, you get a legendary creature, Bird Wizard. It's a 3/3 with flying and vigilance. When Kangi Skywarn attacks, attacking creatures with flying get +2/+0 until end of turn. Whenever Kangi blocks, blocking creatures with flying get +0/+2 until end of turn. And we have Lathril the Bounteous Dawn. So for 2, a green and a white, you get a legendary creature, a unicorn. It's a 2/2 with lifelink. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain life this turn, distribute up to that many +1/+1 counters among any number of other target creatures. And we have a foil Prying Eyes and a Spirit. Alright, let's have a look at what we got here. Pyrocannone's been downshifted now to common from uncommon. Same with Skywelder's Shot. First uncommon is a Thirst for Knowledge. Second uncommon is Fencing Ace. Third uncommon is Victimize. And our first rare is Necrotic Hex. So for 6 and a black, you get a sorcery. Each player sacrifices 6 creatures. You create 6 tapped 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. We have Anara Wolved Familiar. So for 3 and a green, you get a legendary creature, Wolf Beast. It's a 4/4. As long as it's your turn, commanders you control have Indestructible. And we have Ardent Intrepid Archaeologist. So for 2 and a white, you get a legendary creature, Core Scout. It's a 2/2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may attach any number of auras and equipment you control to target permanent or player. We also have a foil Foundry Inspector, which I believe is a downshift from memory, from uncommon to common. Anyways, I could be wrong. I have been wrong before, and I'll most likely be wrong again. Fire Diamond. I think I've got one of each diamond now. Our first uncommon is Interpret the Signs. Second uncommon is an Intangible Virtue. Third uncommon is a Strength of the Pack. And our rare is a Rakshasa Debaser. So for 4 and 2 black, the creature Cat Demon is a 6/6. When it attacks target creature card, you put a target creature card from defending player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, and it has Encore. That sounds kind of strong. Got Malcolm the Keen-Eyed Navigator. So for 2 and a blue, get a legendary creature, Siren Pirates, a 2/2 flying. Whenever one or more pirates you control deal damage to your opponents, you create a treasure token for each opponent dealt damage. We also have Nadia, Agent of Dusknell. So for 5 and a black, get a legendary creature, Elf Warrior. It's a 3/3. Whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Nadia, Agent of Dusknell. When Nadia leaves the battlefield, create a number of 1/1 green Elf Warrior creature tokens equal to its power. One of the drafts that I played this with Prava the Skill of the Steel Legion, and it was actually a pretty strong combination. And we got a foil Skyraker Giant. Feels good that I can actually talk about draft formats now, and actually say these are the stories that I've been able to have while playing. Charcoal Diamond, Viserys is great. Command Sphere. Alright, first uncommon is Warden of Evos Isle. Second uncommon is a First Response. Third uncommon is Pride of the Perfect. And our rare is Austere Command. So for 4 and 2 white, you get a sorcery. You choose to destroy all artifacts, destroy all enchantments, destroy all creatures with CMC 3 or less, or destroy all creatures with CMC 4 or greater. We've got Brelin the Moonkraken. So for 6 and 2 blue, you get a legendary creature Kraken. It's a 6/8. When it enters the battlefield, or whenever you cast a spell with converted mana cost 6 or greater, you may return a target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. And we have Thathless, the Shadowcat Familiar. So for 2 and a black, you get a legendary creature, Nightmare Cat. It's a 2/2 commander. Creatures you control have Menace and Death Touch, and it has Partner. And our foil is an Explosion of Riches. Alright, this is our third last pack here. Alright, first uncommon is Angelic Armaments. Second uncommon is an Ordeal of Nylea. Third uncommon is Mask of Memory. And our rare is an Elvish Dreadlord. So for 3 and 2 black, hit a creature zombie elf. It's a 3/3 Death Touch. When the Elvish Dreadlord dies, non-elf creatures get -3/-3 until end of turn, and you can encore for 5 and 2 black. We just have Immorti, Celebrant of Bounty. So for 3, green and a blue, you get a legendary creature Naga Druid with Cascade. It's a 3/1, and spells you cast with CMC of 6 or greater have Cascade. And we also have Jared Carthelion, True Heir. So for a red, a green, and a white, you get a legendary creature Human Warrior. It's a 3/3. When Jared Carthelion, True Heir, enters the battlefield, target opponent becomes the Monarch. You can't become the Monarch this turn. If damage will be dealt to Jared Carthelion while you're the Monarch, prevent that damage and put that many +1/+1 cannons on him. We've got a foil Dreamed Traveler and a copy token. Alright, second last pack, guys. I hope you've been enjoying this. This has been pretty fun to open, I won't lie to you. And it's kind of gotten some juices flowing for maybe a new commander deck for myself. Got a Codex Shredder, Frenzied Settled Brute, Thought Vessels in here. And we've got a Wrong Turn. So for 2 and a blue, you get an instant target opponent gains control of target creature. And we have Thales, Reverent Medium. So for 3 and a white and a black, you get a legendary creature Human Cleric. It's a 3/4. Beginning of end step, create X 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, where X is the number of tokens you have created this turn. Ooh, and we've got Urlock of Scorched Thrash. So for 1, a black, a red, and a green, you get a legendary creature Viashino Shaman. It's a 4/4 with Vigilance. A player losing unspent mana causes that player to lose that much life. For 1 and a tap, each player adds the full Jund. Got a Supernatural Stamina and a Monarch token. This is it, guys. This is the last pack. Oops. This is the last pack of the day, so let's get to it as I knock my camera mount. Let's end this on a bit of a banger, shall we? Not to say this box hasn't been a banger, because let's be real, it kind of has. First uncommon is a Null Caller. Second uncommon is an Arcane Signet, great to have, always. Third uncommon is an Armorcraft Judge, and a rare is an Ember Wild Captain. So for 3 and a red, you get a creature Djinn Pirate, it's a 4/2. When it enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. Whenever an opponent attacks while you're the Monarch, Ember Wild Captain deals damage to that player equal to the number of cards in their hand. And we have Etched, Salvage Splicer. So for 4 and a green, legendary creature Human Artificer. That's a 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, you create a 3/3 colorless Golem artifact creature token. Whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Etched and a +1/+1 counter on each Golem you control. Hey, we got Larry Nivenroll. So we've got Nivenroll Urborg Tyrant. So for 3, a white, a blue, and a black, you get a legendary creature Zombie Wizard. We have it's a 3/6. It has hexproof from artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. When Neverrule Urborg Tyrant enters the battlefield, create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token for each creature that died this turn. When Neverrule dies, you may pay 1, and if you do, you destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. And we have a foil Sanitarium Scan. That's a nice little way to end it, I think. I mean, we got Neverrule, we bookended, it feels great. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. I definitely did. I will definitely be opening up a box of Collector's Edition Commander Legends very shortly, and I'll put that up to the video as soon as that's ready. Anyway, guys, don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe. Do all the things that let people know that we exist. You can also follow me on Twitter. Links will be down below. Also, you can also find us on the Planeswalker Pantheon on Facebook, where I try to put out content whenever I can. But you also find all the videos of past content there whenever you can. Anyway, guys, I will see you later.